So this is my presentation for my David Jones report. My name is Michael Sarmiento for EPMANC 220. Executive Summary. This marketing report provides analysis and evaluation of David Jones, an Australian department store owned since 2014 by South African retail group Woolworths Holdings Limited. David Jones currently has 45 stores in most Australian states and territories. David Jones' main competitor is the larger upmarket department store chain Myers. The methods of analysis used in this report include the following: an examination of the current marketing mix of David Jones through an examination of the organization's 7 Ps: product, placement, pricing, promotion, people, processes, and physical evidence. Number 2, a current macro environmental analysis of the organization through a pestle analysis of the political, economic, sociocultural, technological, legal, and environmental influences. Number 3, a current SWOT analysis of the organization, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that apply to the group. The results of this analysis shows that David Jones utilizes omni-chain channel retailing strategy as a source of competitive advantage. Through this strategy, David Jones expects 10% of total sales to be generated through the web store, mobile applications, and social e-commerce sites, and the remaining 90% through its brick-and-mortar stores. From these findings, it is recommended that David Jones make the following improvement to their current marketing: that they invest in customer service and engagement, manage with its suppliers to transition to global cost price harmonization over time, and invest in technology to enable company transformation and generate efficiencies, realign management skills and capabilities to its new future strategic direction. Introduction. David Jones is an Australian upmarket department store owned since 2014 by Woolworths Limited. It was founded in 1838 by David Jones, a Welsh merchant and future politician, after he immigrated to Australia, and is the oldest continuously operating department store in the world, still trading in the original name. The recession of the early 90s caused the department store assets to be floated as David Jones Limited. For the next 2 decades, the company went through turbulent times, eventually leading to discussions of a merger with Myer, and then in 2014 a takeover by South African retail group Woolworths Limited. Background. David Jones currently has 45 stores located in Australian states and territories. David Jones' main competitor is the larger upmarket department store chain Myer. On November 21, 2019, David Jones opened its first Auckland store in Westfield Newmarket. Current macro environmental factors. Political. Laws and regulations enforced by the government against the misuse of market power by the market leaders. Woolworths, along with the other retail giant Coles, have created a duopolistic market, gorging on every other retailer by creating a lot of problems for small retailers through the cutting of supply options for small retailers, predatory pricing, and changing the way Australian food is produced. The government has started taking steps to control this misuse of market power by the retail giants. This will in a way help the customers have a higher bargaining power and the autonomy to choose from a wide variety of options before going on and making a purchase. Economical. Change in spending habits of consumers, falling consumer confidence plagued by the global financial crisis, and their changed attitudes towards buying indicates that they have a deep inclination towards quality and price, and at the same time the customers are focusing more on value buying, and the company has come up with a strategy of price harmonization that focuses on everyday low prices for customers. The strategy has not yet only helped them to match the overseas rivals in terms of the prices offered by them, but also has helped them to retain the market share by trying to be customer friendly and create a price war that would either close down the small and marginal businesses or be bought out by one of the retail giants. Social demographic. David Jones provides financial aid to projects that center on the physical well-being and health of the Australian women and children. Number two, David Jones supports the Look Good, Feel Better charitable organization that helps cancer-affected people. Number three, David Jones supports research to improve cancer for young children. Technological. Technology upgrading leading to customer shopping online, number one. And number two, opening up of next generation stores. Number three, ethical consumerism, which determines sales. Legal. Number one, legal actions of ACC against the company in relation to price wars. Number two, legal actions of ACCC against the company in misrepresentation of safety products. Number three, legal actions of ACCC against the company in relation to bullying of suppliers. Environmental. Use of sustainable products and practices. All the things we need to survive, such as food, air, water, and shelter from natural resources. Squandering those today means that our children will not have the benefit of those resources tomorrow. If our natural resources are not conserved, many will be depleted. However, if we protect and conserve our resources, then they will last much longer. Through conservation, we can reduce waste and manage natural resources wisely. This will give future generations the same benefits we enjoy today. Application of Michael Porter's generic growth strategies to David Jones. David Jones is a transnational firm with high recognition in target market segments. The competition within the business has created it difficult for David Jones to sustain market leadership and increase market share. The prevailing business setting is compelling David Jones to get an advantage over others sooner than the competition. Being a familiar name, David Jones sets its competitive positioning supported by crucial factors that give it an edge over other rivals. There are three main streams for Porter's generic strategies that is used by David Jones to achieve its growth objectives, which is cost leadership, differentiation, and focus strategy. Cost leadership strategy involves gaining a competitive advantage by lowering the price. Price leadership is the main generic strategy that David Jones uses in a variety of shopper markets. The first objective of the strategy is to preserve the market leadership position through pricing management. David Jones focuses on affordability and accessibility of its manufacture, which leads towards high sales growth and provides a competitive advantage. Charging low cost by lowering costs and maximizing offer chain potency, David Jones oftentimes offers discounts to realize sales targets and give the competition pressure. Differentiation is another used generic strategy by David Jones. The adoption of differentiation as a strategy permits David Jones to expand its client base by accentuation over the distinctive product options. David Jones' strategic objective of the strategy is to differentiate by embedding the innovation and address the consumer's growing health considerations. David Jones extended its product when learning consumers' interests to differentiate itself from competitors and expand the scope of opportunities in the business. The mix of differentiation and price leadership has helped David Jones build a constant client base. Through differentiation, David Jones positions his product offerings to stand out and show a discrepancy from the alternatives. The corporation uses differentiation as a tool to scale back the pressure by different brands. Serious investment in selling, advertisement, and celebrity endorsement is formed simply to differentiate David Jones from the others. Intensive expertise and complete and robust presence all over The antipodies are some differentiation factors that are highlighted with the company selling methods. The distinctive and complete brand has established the brand image in consumers' mind. Though the brand has undergone several revisions, the essence has remained intact and equivalent. That additionally is a robust differentiation strategy. Focus is the third generic competitive strategy that encourages corporations to concentrate their resources on increasing the narrowly targeted segments. Once corporations adopt the main focus strategy, they serve specific market segments and base their competitive advantage on niche selling. David Jones adopts the main focus strategy in terms of low price and giving the simplest value. The low-cost strategy is adopted by serving the needs of a niche market segment at the lowest possible price. Best value focus strategy is adopted by emphasizing the taste, size, and design of the product that could best match the customer's needs and requirements. By specializing in product attributes, David Jones revises its old ways and brings continuous changes within the product packaging to satisfy customer psychological expectations and maximize their business. The references are the following: the Porter's Generic Strategies for Competitive Advantage website, and David Jones' website, and also the textbook Robbins et al. It should be listed here in the third one, the Robbins et al. Book, Management Essentials, 4th edition. And that is the end of the presentation. Thank you for watching.
So, SWOT analysis for David Jones. David Jones is an iconic upmarket premium product retailer in Australia. They have become an iconic Australian brand. They first opened in Australia in 1838, and they are known for having a great customer service reputation, and that has carried through for generations among their customers. Now, with their strengths, you'll note that they've always been pride of place when it comes to location. So they're in all major Westfields and shopping centres. You'll note the location of their brick and mortar stores are almost never in the same shopping centres as a Myer store. So location, location, location is super important in this instance. You'll also note that with their strengths, they have a lot of basically brand ambassadors. These brand ambassadors basically carry forth an image that David Jones likes to present to their customers, so always being at the forefront of fashion, whether that be for men or women's fashion. In particular with the racing community, Melbourne Cup Day, they've always supported. They even have their own race, I believe, in the Caulfield Cup. And you will note that they have quite a diverse range of charity partners as well. So weaknesses with David Jones, you will find that there are obviously cost leadership focused department stores in the market, and they will take out the customers who are very price focused and are looking for the same product but a cheaper alternative. So they're more or less not looking for the same quality. You'll also find that, unfortunately for David Jones, in the retail sector, there is a highly publicised issue of staff cutbacks and employee underpayments, and this has been going since before COVID-19 was an issue. Obviously as well, only having smaller supply chains due to their stringent quality standards that they carry across the brand, in particular to do with their commitments towards quality, global community impacts, and as well as environmental impacts. So making sure people are paid at the rate that they should be paid in developing nations for products that they make and also help to produce, and also for the environmental impacts, so disposing of things in an environmentally responsible way and also made in a way that won't impact the environment as well, having a smaller carbon footprint. Opportunities. David Jones could look at the opportunities as they present themselves for their brand. So some opportunities that have come in for them. They have been using a lot of celebrity brand ambassadors, but it would be advantageous for them to move into something like the sporting sector, so not just a fashion focus with their products. They could also move into more of a market focus with the brand ambassadors in the cooking retail industry side, as they do have quite a large crockery and homewares department, and they have had that target market of older generations, particularly women that purchase their homewares, so with that big crockery, cooking pots, those sorts of things. They could move into that by perhaps having a brand ambassador for cooking, whether that be a celebrity chef, thinking along the lines of Coles and Woolworths in that regard, could assist them and separate them from Myer's brand view. They could also broaden their event sponsorship in that regard from just racing carnivals like Melbourne Cup, as mentioned earlier, to other sporting events, tennis, football, etc. And of course capture a larger target market in that process. They should also focus on a stronger marketing view as well across their competition. It looks like Myer hasn't actually done any sort of environmental or global community impact marketing for their brand. So as they do support the charities around this, David Jones could really grab hold of this opportunity and use it in a way to market themselves and continue to be respected as that premium product retailer. So, threats for David Jones. There is direct competition. So they have Myer, Zara and H&M in particular in Australia. International department store chains are also looking to enter the Australian market at this time. So there are brands like Walmart, Costco. They're looking to move in a cost leadership focused strategy with their customers. So David Jones does need to be ahead of the game there. Myer's also differentiated themselves from David Jones, in particular with their rewards points there. So David Jones do need to look at a way of reinvesting their customers' value per dollar in their products. Another threat is obviously the economic downturn, recession as a result of COVID-19, and that's across the board globally. You'll also notice there is a growing online market. David Jones has jumped on board in terms of their own online marketing and products. However, if they were to have stronger focus in this regard, it could broaden their customers' purchase choices towards them rather than the cheaper cost leadership focused department stores. They also need to look at inspiring brand loyalty among their customers. So whilst there are an older generation demographic that are loyal to David Jones, in my experience working at David Jones and having the elderly generation come in with store cards that they've had since they were 30, and it's a 40-year-old credit card. Just being able to inspire brand loyalty in a younger generation so that they don't lose out on the next generation of customers, and try and indoctrinate that at a younger age. So, who else uses Michael Porter's differentiation strategy? Well, let's take a look at a couple of the brands that we have for examples here. We've got Harrods, Myer, Lush, and Amazon. Harrods, they are the world's best, and they carry the title best performing luxury department store in the world. It's even printed across their website, so if you look up their website, that's their title. It's the first thing you see. They've embodied the term diversification. So what this means is being able to diversify across industries in order to gain value with their brand. So they've become a leading example of becoming an omni-channel retailer, and they have set the standard and the bar for everybody else following. They do offer premium products and services like David Jones across department store retail and interior design, They even offer aviation services and property sales and management. So they've looked to basically diversify across the board and bring more value into their company. Harrods have also marketed themselves as a landmark destination. So if you go into Harrods in London, you can actually go into their souvenir shop and purchase, whether it be a little fridge magnet, it could be a box of chocolates, it could be a shirt, it could be anything at this point. They've marketed themselves as a destination, so a landmark. It's something as a one-off, one of a kind, so something that no other department store has actually done to this day. Myer. Now, they are certainly a brand that utilises differentiation strategy. So, as a premium department store in the Australian market, they're definitely one of David Jones' biggest competitors. I would say that David Jones and Myer are Australia's two top premium department store retailers. The main thing to keep in mind here is they've differentiated themselves from David Jones. So they haven't quite gotten, even though they are a premium retailer, they haven't marketed themselves to just that upmarket customer. They also market themselves to the middle range, so middle class customer as well. So how they differentiate themselves is by offering a rewards points loyalty program that doesn't require the customer to purchase on a store card to earn the points. So they don't have to use a credit card to earn points on their purchases. They can be using an EPTMANC card, a debit card, they can use cash, they can use a gift card and get points towards that purchase. They've even got their reward system on an app. So all customers have to do, if they forget their rewards card, all they have to do is hold up their phone with the app. They can scan the phone app with the in-store scanners at Myer, and you'll get the points straight away. You can see your rewards points total, the balance if you've spent any, what you spent it on. You can even see the types of purchases you've made. So they're also focusing on what their customers are purchasing without a credit card. The important thing to also keep in mind here is by offering different methods of payments, they're opening themselves up to more customers, something that David Jones needs to keep in mind. Lush. Now, they really focus on a niche market. Their niche market, which is growing quite steadily, quite a strong pace. They've certainly exponentially grown. There's a lot more stores of Lush around these days than there was 10 years ago. And that is because there is a growing concern and awareness for a global impact, not just on communities, but on the environment, the planet itself. So there is no planet B. So they are focusing on obviously minimizing the impact to the planet and of course what their customers want, a quality product that isn't going to kill the plants. It's not a facial scrub that's going to have granules that go out to the ocean and kill the fish, or a shampoo or conditioner that contains silicons or phosphates. They market products that have no animal byproducts, there's no harmful chemicals or additives, and they do not test on animals. Amazon. Now, they are a strong competitor in the online market, one of the biggest. So when Jeff Bezos introduced this company, he had originally started out with the book sides business, and now he's focused across a whole department store now. So it's all online, and anything you need or want, you can find it on Amazon. They have the ability to service their customers' needs better than other department stores because they don't have a physical brick and mortar store. They can focus on giving their customers what they want through delivery and not be worried about having the overheads of staff in a department store paying leave, paying for overtime, anything like that. They have robots running around in their warehouses that carry out the distribution work, and then there are people who manage those robots. So there's quite a small workforce, quite a large distribution, and they can therefore reduce their overhead costs and bring more value back into the business, but also provide their customers with a quality product or service. The end. References.
G'day guys, my name's Benjamin Shirt and today I'll be taking you through an analysis of the 7 Ps for David Jones. Within David Jones, products supplied are of a broad range of brands but a very select output of items. You can expect to find any item of clothing ranging from socks, hats and accessories right through to formal attire such as suits and dresses to suit all men, women and children. You can find men's, women's and children's shoes to suit any occasion. David Jones really pride themselves on their ability to supply a vast majority of women's makeup, beauty essentials, which are also applied as a service within their stores to their customers. Electrical and homeware equipment ranging from headphones and portable sound systems right through to dishwashers and fridges. There's obviously just a brief skim through of products that you can expect to find at David Jones, otherwise I'd be here taking a fair while to get through them all. The price of David Jones products relate closely to the expectation of the brand's designer interest. For example, you can expect to pick up a genuine set of sandals as shown for as little as $9, or you can expect to pick up a pair of designer boots, for instance Christian Louboutin boots for as much as $2,195. Placement of David Jones stores across Australia are closely related to a high population demographic. With 47 stores nationwide, you can expect to find them within, say, Westfield and Stockland shopping centres. David Jones also offer an online store which distributes products worldwide. The promotion of products and services that you can expect, really, it's pretty basic, really. You can expect daily emails as benefits as a part of their rewards program. The odd advertisement pop up on TV commercials, social media platforms, and magazines. They also do like signs and posters to advertise new brands that are coming up and sale opportunities. People within David Jones, they relate their professionality closely to their products and services they present. They experience high expectations of retail supply the best for their ability to their customers. People who are expected to shop at David Jones are of medium to high socioeconomic status and search to experience high quality and good service. The process of David Jones products is effectively designed by international and Australian designers, followed by a manufacturing process with the majority of items formerly produced overseas and presented with David Jones stores for distribution Australia-wide and nationwide, worldwide. Physical evidence of David Jones is commonly identified by their trademark logo, and further out of store, physical evidence supplied is their unique design of shopping bags, which is home to the David Jones retail stores. David Jones is currently situated within the maturity phase of the product life cycle. Through many consecutive years as a growing series of franchises from the late 1800s, they have grown and adapted to the norms of society through their reputable supply of fashion products. Through the 1950s to the 1980s, they expanded across the nation, opening 30 stores, and built into their iconic reputation as the home of brands. Since 2010, they have expanded their services into a select stores, built their online presence, created new partnerships, and planned a pathway for the future as newly established omni-channel retailer. The differentiation strategy, according to Porter's generic strategy, is the notion in which a business strategically applies their abilities to transform themselves as a competitive threat. This is commonly achieved by a business producing and distributing and also servicing unique things which are solely exclusive to the business and not their competitors. Benefits of using the differentiation strategy can implement reduced price competition, better profit margins, and lead to a consumer brand loyalty. Recommendations for David Jones lay purely in relation to their customer service and customer engagement. With reports of numerous store closures, it's suspected that the word online shopping is a heavy result for this impact. Although I believe implementing an online chat forum within hours for their customers as a part of their online store will be a valuable asset, as questions regarding the products can be answered on the spot. With stores, however, focusing the quality of service by employing further training and world-class reputable experience would become detrimental as an aspect of the engagement. With David Jones staff providing the service that is exclusive and not able to be supplied by other competitors, and will in a sense keep the customers aware to shop at David Jones. In relation to promotion, David Jones needs to implement strategies such as sponsorships towards athletes or elite sporting associations. For example, the UFC would be an impressive and great way to promote David Jones as a world-class brand, as UFC is up there with as one of the fastest growing sports in the world and attracts the attention of famous people that are interested in high fashion brands that David Jones currently supply. Or focus on Australian fast reputable growing sports such as the Supercars series, which events like the Bathurst 1000 are well known to Australian people. As a result, this will provide more popularity for David Jones and lead as a vast asset for their differentiation strategy, which is already implemented.